Aaron, first things first, how does the thumb feel after that?
It's a little sore.
Did it bother or affect your accuracy or your throws today?
Maybe a couple, but not too many.
You guys feel like you're kind of in a crisis mode right now a little bit?
I don't really know what that means, Pete. Can you explain?
That, the season's kind of wobbly right now and things are on the brink?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we got to be realistic about where we're at. We've played a couple subpar games, the last two, so we got to play better. But wobbly, only if people are breaking rank. I think it'll be interesting to look at the comments from all of our guys and coaches, and hopefully we stick together. That's the important thing. But until I see us breaking ranks, I'm not going to say there's any wobbliness going on.
Aaron, what is it that you think you guys need to be offensively? What do you need to do?
Simpler. Simpler. Just simplify some things.
How much time do you spend, when you say if anyone's breaking rank, how much time do you spend reading the reports or listening to videos or radio just to?
Zero.
What is that?
Zero.
So is that
Tom sometimes will send me some stuff, but I spend zero time on that.
So how would you know about it then?
Tom would send me it. Yeah.
Aaron,
Can I get back to just what you mean
Yeah,
by,
sorry.
what do you mean by simplify? You're talking like scheme, you're talking game plans, too much volume? What do you think?
All of it. Yeah. I don't want to get too specific. And I'm not attacking anything. I just think that based on how we've played the last 2 weeks, I think it's going to be in our best interest to simplify things for everybody, for the line, for the backs, for the receivers, especially with Kabi's injury. Just simplify some things, and maybe that'll help us get back on track.
Aaron, what's your message to the guys? There's I don't know, 3/4 of guys who've never been in this position, with you guys,
What position?
of struggling. You guys have been 13 as far as wins go. This is kind of a new thing for a lot of players.
Yeah, this is the NFL, so nobody's gonna feel sorry for you. Let's get back to business. If it's good enough when we're 3-1, it's got to be good enough when we're 3-3. So can't ride the roller coaster wave of emotions. Like I said, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how we all respond to this tomorrow and this week. I felt like we had a great week of practice, so this performance today was surprising. But we got to watch our language and the kind of energy that we're manifesting. But I'm going to be steady with the guys, and I expect our leadership to do the same.
So, Aaron, simplification notwithstanding, just your execution, whether it's protection, whether it's how you're playing, whether it's how routes are being run. It's been a while since I've seen you guys not look like you really knew who you were and what you wanted to do. How do you view how your offense is playing right now?
Very inconsistent, and that's why I think we need to simplify things, because on the couple drives we did move the ball, it was very simple things, very simple plays, no motion. So we need to look at everything and the guys that we got and what we can accomplish with them, and let's be smart about moving forward. Nobody works harder than Matt on the plan each week, and nobody comes with better ideas than him and his staff. But if it's not working, it's not because those guys aren't grinding. It's because we're not executing. And if we think we have the right players, then we need to simplify things. If you don't, then that's a whole other conversation.
So do you think, but you knew, you had a pretty good idea coming into the season, right? Devontae's gone, you've got young guys in the interior of the line. Like, I guess I'm confused. Did you think you could be more complicated and run this scheme the way you've run it the last 2 years when you've been so great, and now you're realizing you can't? Or did you overestimate what you, I guess I'm just confused how now it's, oh, we need to simplify, but you kind of knew the core.
Let me explain it to you, Jay. It's not now. It's always been like this. It's always been when we struggle, we're doing too much. So whether it's with Devontae Adams out there or no Devontae Adams, when we get into problems is when we maybe try and do too much. So there's multiple times, but in the past, based on the personnel or the way we were playing, we could get through that and win some of those games. So this is not a new thing that I'm saying here. This has been a part of every season, even in 2019. You know, it wasn't like we were gangbusters to start the season. But there were times where we needed to just rein it in a little bit. Let's just simplify some things. Make sure our guys are, you know, playing with more confidence. That to be said, the standard is the standard. And the plays that we had in were easily, you know, understood and executable. So this is not an attack on the staff at all, because they put in a plan that can win football games. But the execution, when it looks like that, you know, it's not good enough. So we do probably need to rein it in a little bit. But like I said, this has happened in 19 and 20 and 21, all the same. It's just different personnel, different years, different momentums, different energy.
Did you think that last week, or did this game really crystallize that?
No, I thought that, you know, all the time. I mean, the simplest plays are the best plays. The smartest players are the best players. That's what I've always believed in. So there are times where we get out there and scheme can look really amazing. And there's times where we're not executing the scheme. And the scheme is good, really good. But even the best scheme takes good execution. And when we're not executing the way we're capable of executing, or the way we believe we should be capable of executing, then it might be time to reel it back in a little bit and simplify some things.
Aaron, where are you in your belief that this team can be great and the trust with one another that you can take the steps to be there?
Probably higher than yours.
Aaron, you got hit a lot today. Did the Jets do anything up front that was not expected, or is that more?
No, they brought about you know, 2 or 3 pressures. Maybe it felt like all day. It was 4-man rush. You know, every now and then they mug Mosley up in the gap, but it was execution. You know, they brought some twists, but we knew they're like, you know, 50% twist in certain situations based on the analytics. So we just didn't execute that very well.
Looks like you guys were searching for things to fix the right side. You've played a lot of snaps over the last year with Yash.
Yeah.
Why hasn't he gotten an opportunity there yet?
That's not really a question for me. I don't make those decisions. We have a lot of confidence in Yash. We have confidence in the right side as well. We just, you know, we got to figure out what the best situation is over there. But again, a lot of it's, I'm sure, and I haven't obviously seen the film yet, but a lot of it's very simple mistakes. So we're making simple mistakes on complex plays. To me, the natural response is to simplify things even more, or, you know, if you need to make some moves, you make some moves.
Hey, Aaron, Bill mentioned how you guys haven't faced a lot of regular season adversity with how many games you won. Matt was in here earlier. He said, the phrase he said was, there has to be an urgency to want to improve. When you talk about manifesting and staying steady, do you have to make sure that younger guys or guys that have not experienced the adversity that you have during regular seasons understand what it takes to get things back on track if they don't really have experience turning things around?
Yes, but the biggest thing is to guard against the freak out, you know, to guard against the feeling into the wobbliness, and to let that creep into your mind. Like I said, if the preparation is good enough in the wins, it's got to be good enough in the losses. The execution is obviously different. So it's always good to, with a fine-tooth comb, go back over your own stuff. You know, be very critical of yourself, your preparation for the week, your performance, your mindset, all that stuff, and then make tweaks that need to be made. But for me, I'm not going to change. You know, the standard is a standard. I'm going to try and play to that standard I've set for myself. But the preparation that I go through is going to stay the same. The way I show up to practice and during the week with enthusiasm and energy is going to stay the same. And I expect the other guys to do the same. You know, as a rookie, as a young player, you got to fall in the line. But I'm not going to freak out or have, make any grand statements. I'm just going to get back to what I do best, go through the process, have real good conversations with Matt and with our staff and try and get this thing fixed. Because those guys care about it. They put in a hell of a lot of time. It's demoralizing, I'm sure, to be grinding the way they do and us to go out there and play so crappy on offense. So we got to fix it as a group. The players got to step up, though. The best teams are player-led teams. So it's time for us as players on both sides of the ball and on teams to truly take ownership of that. And I can't explain to you exactly what that looks like with an 8-step process, but it's a mindset. And until we get that mindset, we're going to be wallowing in this, inconsistency.
Aaron, early,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Early in your career, I remember as a starter how much you put into your leadership role. You got to know different guys. You got to know what made them tick, especially in 2010. That was an up and down year with the injuries and stuff. Do you have the energy for that now, or does your relationship change now because of your status and your stature and who you are? Do you need the coaches, or do you need someone like Alan Lazard to do some more of that fine detail type of motivation or introspection?
No, I got a lot of energy. I care about this a lot, and I'm always keeping a tight pulse on the team and having those conversations with the leaders of the football team, making sure we're putting our arms around guys that need that love and attention, and then holding guys accountable. So that's that's the fun part of this game, is the relationships. So I'm gonna, be walking around with a watchful eye, making sure we're all taking care of our business and thinking about things the right way, and still riding high with confidence. But I got plenty of energy for that.
You've talked, you've raved about everybody under the sun, from Alan to Sammy and so on. You've also talked a lot about your relationship with Brian. Do you have enough horses, do you think? Do you think what you have right now is good enough to get to where you want to get to?
Well, we'll see. We need Sammy back. I think that's happening here pretty soon. Cobby's, I'm guessing he'll be out for a little bit. Brian, I've had a number of conversations. I trust him and his staff. If they feel like they need to add, that they will. I think there's enough on this team to be a successful team. There's the possibility, if certain guys emerge, of us having a chance to make a run. I know Brian believes the same thing, but if there's an opportunity, I would expect that Brian will be in the mix.
Making a run's all that matters at this point, right? As far as your perspective on things, 11-6. Who cares, right? It's January, right?
Yes, Bill. I agree.
Aaron, 2 more for Aaron. Have you played well enough, not only today, but the last couple games, do you think, when the offense hasn't been able to put together a whole game?
I have to go back and look at the film, Matt, but, there's always a couple plays you'd like to have back. Felt like, we were just so terrible the first 4 drives of the game. Not sure. Again, I got to look at it and see what I could have done better, but, I got to raise my game probably a little tick in order for us to come out on the winning side in some of these games.
There's been a lot of talk about running the ball all season. It looked like early on, especially on early downs, you guys were committed to that, and the Jets up front were kind of shutting that down. When is the right time to stick with it, and when is the right time as far as the balance of they're taking this away, you've got to go to something else?
Yeah, it's tough, Ryan. I don't know exactly how to give you a perfect answer there. I think that it's a feel. You could kind of tell the first few drives, we just were getting beat up front. We weren't controlling line of scrimmage like we have in the past. I felt like we made some adjustments, but still, we had way too many sacks, hits on me, kind of dead plays, negative yards runs, which you don't really have. So I don't know that today was a day to really stick with the run. I think we were at our best, and we were kind of spreading them out and dinking and dunking.
Aaron, how worried are you about Cobby? They Fox showed him, and it looked like he was pretty emotional on the cart on the way to the locker room.
Well, I think he thought that was it, that he'd broken it, but I don't think that's the case. So, yeah, heart goes out to him for sure. It's tough, but he was in better spirits in the locker room, and I don't think it's going to be, I think you can put guys down on the IR now and be 4 weeks, so that might be a possibility.